Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and today's shout out goes to Viperodactyl. Viperodactyl was first to say first in one of my recent videos, and this one's a shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, with a review of a neat new drone. This is the Tomzon A23 drone. Now, looking at this tiny little thing, you can guess that this is not meant for expert photography. This is simply a learn-to-fly drone for beginner pilots. Very good for kids, actually. Very nice to learn to fly, especially for kids, flying indoors on these cold winter months coming up ahead. Okay, this thing only weighs about 31 grams with the battery included, so that means no registration is required in most countries. Additionally, there is no camera on this. Okay, there is a little slot up front where they were planning to put a camera, but there's no camera on this particular model that I'm flying here. Again, that also does not mean, or also means that this does not require registration in most countries, especially in Canada, I guess. Canada, and there are a few other countries out there that do require registration for camera drones. This does not have a camera. Okay, the real nice thing about this is it is beautifully lit with LED lights. Let's see if I can get them to come on here. Very pretty, really Christmassy too. It comes with 2 different light modes with 7 different light colors. So this is very bright, very colorful. It is powered though by little brush motors, so these will fail eventually with time, but by then, you know, you should be good enough to learn to fly better drones. Okay, this is not meant for you to be flying forever, folks. This is meant for you to learn to fly and then progress to bigger, better drones. Okay, now it is also powered by a little 3.5 or actually 3.85 volts 380 milliamp hour battery with a little pH 1.0 connector on the front there. This is predicted to give this drone about 9 minutes of flight time. I haven't verified that yet because I haven't flown this yet, but we'll see when we take it downstairs if it actually gives us about 7 minutes of flight time. It has toss-to-fly capability. What that means is you can just toss it in the air after turning it on and connecting it to the controller, and the drone will automatically start to fly. But it also has automatic takeoff and landing, so if you don't want to do it that way, you can press a button on the controller and it will automatically take off in that case too. In other modes that this has, it has flip mode, where it will flip, do a 360-degree flip either forward or sideways or backwards, which is fun for kids to do. Okay, it also has a rotate mode where it will spin around like so. It'll spin mode, but it also has a rotate around a point mode that it also will do automatically at the press of a button. So we'll demonstrate that too. It has headless mode capability. To describe that, I have to actually show you that. We'll do that downstairs when we go flying, along with automatic takeoff and automatic landing. Now, this drone is mainly meant for indoor flying, and right now the weather isn't good for outdoor flying, so I actually am not going to fly this outdoors. You should be able to see how well this flies indoors when I take it downstairs. It is actually a pretty nice little flyer. I'll show you. But other than that, I should go over what you get in the box. In the box, you get the user manual, which is well written. I recommend reading it through it to see what this can do before you actually fly it. You get the drone. You get 2 batteries. I got one installed in the drone already, and you get a spare, along with the charger for it. Now, the charger, this is interesting, has 2 little prongs, so you can charge both of those batteries simultaneously with this charger through a USB wall charger. I would recommend using. You can use the USB port on your computer, but I would recommend, again, using a phone wall charger for faster charge time. You get the controller, which I'll go over in detail in a minute. You get a spare set of props, and you get the box. Now let's go over the controller. The buttons on the controller are actually well labeled, or actually they've got a lot of symbols. Okay, but let's go over them. First off, here's the on-off switch right here. You activate by holding down that button there. This is your gyro calibration button. You can calibrate the gyros on this drone by turning on the drone, turning on the controller, letting it connect to the drone, and then pressing this button here, and the gyros will automatically calibrate. This helps give you a much more stable flight time. It also has automatic takeoff. I ain't going to press that button right now because we're bound right there, but you press that button, this drone will automatically take off. It has 3 different rates that you adjust by pressing this button here. What is rates? You hear those beeps? What that does, folks, is it enables the drone to fly at a much steeper angle. You get much faster speed out of the drone, along with faster turning rates, and we'll demonstrate that too when we go downstairs to fly this. Additionally, you have headless mode, which you activate here. Again, I will describe that when we go flying, along with an emergency stop. If this drone should end up getting stuck in a tree or stuck in anything that would clog up those motors, you want to turn that off immediately. Otherwise, you will burn out the motors, and you do that by pressing that button there. Other things, this is your flip button here. You press this, and it tells it which direction the drone to flip. You just by moving the right stick, and the drone will do a 360-degree flip. Additionally, this is for your lights, changing the lights on your drone. Let me show you that, actually. Let's turn on the drone, turn on the controller. It has two different light modes that each one of them circles through different light colors, as you're seeing here. But you select the light modes by pressing this button here. Boy, ain't that pretty. You can turn it off, turn it on. I guess it only has one. You can turn it off and on with this button, but it switches between the two different light modes with time, as you're seeing here. There we go. Here it goes in the second flight mode. I like the second video or light mode. It's very colorful, but we'll turn it off there. Other buttons. This is for your rotating, rapid rotating. You press this button and the drone will rapidly rotate. And this button here is for the fly around a circle position. And we'll demonstrate that too when we go flying. And these are your trim buttons to help get a nice stable hover. And I'll demonstrate that too, how to use that when we go flying. So that is the A23 from Tomzon. Let's take it down into my flight test facility in the basement and see how it flies. So hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and welcome to the Quadcopter 101 Indoor Flight Test Facility. Note that my hot tub is still set up for my micro FPV racing cars. I'm still doing that, folks. I'm having a good time playing with these toys. That toy, if you haven't seen my review on it, I highly recommend you check out my review on the Q25. Really cool car. But let's go into the Tomzon. The Tomzon is what we're focusing on today, the A23. To turn this on, we hit the on-off switch right here, and it comes on like so. And we bind it to the controller by just turning on the controller. And they rapidly flash, and then they slow down the lights, and we're ready to go. Now, the first thing I want to try is that toss to take off. See if that actually works. So, putting it in my hand, and hopefully it does. Cool. Let's bring it up close so you see this thing. Very pretty, isn't it? I like those lights, especially at night. Makes for a really pretty little drone. Okay, I'm just rotating it myself right now by holding the stick to the left. Okay, going forward, first thing we want to do right now is to trim it. So I'm going to turn it this way. Now I notice it's drifting to the right a bit, or actually not. Yeah, drifting to the right a bit. Let's go to the right one and back one. And it's holding its position, more or less. You know, that's the wind bouncing it around in the room. So let's take it around and see how it flies. Bringing it over here a little closer. Now the first thing I want to try to demonstrate is the flip for you, the flip feature. Pressing the flip button, then turning it to the right flip. Flip feature, left flip. Bring it down a little lower. Forward flip. And back flip. So the flips work fine. Okay, let's go to a little bit higher rate. And by pressing the rate button here. And this is second rate. Seeing how it flies in second rate. And I'm going to get down lower to the ground, folks, so you can see this up close. Nice little drone. Very maneuverable. Okay, doing funnels right now. Let's go to third rate. Let's see how hard of a funnel can we get out of this. That's about it, folks. That's the funnels. Bringing it around, doing figure eights. Very maneuverable. Okay, next thing, headless mode. Hitting headless mode. Pushing forward, that's the headless mode direction. What this does, folks, is doesn't matter what direction it's pointed at, I can actually pirouette it and push forward, and that's forward, this is back, this is left, and this is always right. So, very colorful little thing. This would look great around a Christmas tree. So, okay, coming out of headless mode. So we did headless mode. We haven't done automatic takeoff and automatic landing. Let's bring it over the pad, hit the landing button, And this is the automatic landing. So, okay, automatic, let's point it this way right now. Automatic takeoff. There's the automatic takeoff. It goes up that high, it goes toward the ceiling, so be careful. Bring it back down if it starts heading toward the ceiling. That's that altitude hold barometer. You get close to the ceiling with that, and sometimes, especially these toy drones, they like to get sucked up into the ceiling. So remember that if it starts heading toward the ceiling. Okay, I want to trim it up a bit. No, it's working fine. Okay, let's go around the area, go around the pole. Bringing it back. Actually, I want to go to a bit higher rate. Okay, we haven't done the circle. This is the rapid spin, folks. Bringing it down lower. Bringing it over toward me. Do that again. Rapid spin. I did that by activating this button here. Let's try the other one. Circle. That's circle around position mode. What rate am I in? Third rate. Let's go to third rate and see what that does. Oh, we're still in headless mode? No, now we're in headless mode. Coming out of headless mode. That's forward. Okay. Let's try this again. Circle mode. Go over here a bit and pressing that button now. Well, it does it real slow. Can I increase the rate? No, this is all it does in circle mode, folks. So it does this slow rotate. Very slow rotate. I guess that's okay. So turning that back off. Now these lights, okay, which way am I pointed? There. These lights can be turned off by pressing this button here. And then turn them back on by pressing that button there. So that's the lights. Now I'm still in high rate. Let's do some maneuvering with this in high rate. Go in circles that position, around that way, and that's it. Very maneuverable. Okay, I want to do the toss again one more time, landing it in my hand, and tossing it. And there we go. So yeah, you can just toss it in the air, and it flies. Bringing it back over again, I want to do that one more time. Bring it toward me, land button, and toss. Cool. I like it. Okay, let's demonstrate its ability to bump into objects and will it maintain flight even if it bumps into that door. Let me put it in the lower rate first because I don't want to go too fast, but we'll do a slow bump into the wall. Yeah, again. Yeah, that's cool. One more time, into the wall or into the door. So yeah, it maintains its position, or maintains flying ability, even though it was bumped into the door. Okay, we've been flying for quite a while here, so maybe this does have 9 minutes of flight time. We'll find out. Let's go over the village over here. Fly around the village in lower light here, so you can see the lights on the little drone a little better. But boy, are they bright, aren't they? Those are bright lights. And colorful. So yeah, kids will love the lighting on this. Relatively easy to fly, especially for beginner pilots. But then again, that's what it's made for. It's made for you to learn these controls, what these stick movements do, because they are the same even in the expensive drones. Okay, you know, that DJI that you want to fly or get eventually, those stick movements are performed exactly the same as I'm doing here. Whoa, reduce that throttle. I bumped the throttle up a little bit too much there, but same as this. Okay, going back to higher rate, third rate. Ooh, almost hit the house. It's starting to get a little bit hard to stay in the air. It's descending a bit. That means our batteries are probably getting low. Let me see if, well, the back light isn't flashing yet. I'm looking for that. That's usually an indicator if that starts flashing. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe just because we're in a higher rate. But, yeah, I got to give it a little more throttle. So I'm guessing that the battery is getting low, even though that red light's not flashing. But, okay. Yeah, maneuverable. Highly maneuverable, actually. What I'm doing, folks, is, oh, I just switched the lights. Okay, there we go. Hear that? That's the controller beeping, and that's flashing like that. That's telling us the battery is now getting low, so we are getting close to the end of its flight time. So we'll just fly it around the stanchion one more time, see if we can make it. Going around the stanchion, coming back over here, bringing it up close, and going like that. You get a thumbnail. Showing the back end. So, yeah, good beginner's drone. I like it. So, there are so many toy drones out there that are not very good, but this one isn't too bad at all. Very nice and stable, easy to learn to fly with. So, okay, I'm waiting to see what it does on full battery depletion, and that's what it does. It went down and bumps, and that's it. Ain't no more power. So that's the Tomzon A23. Not a bad little drone. Good to learn to fly drone. That's what it's meant for. Not for photography, you know, not to be a professional drone racer. It's to learn the stick movements, folks. Very important before you go buy that expensive drone. So hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101. Signing out.